And then we got, Quinn, no more undefeated teams in the league. On Sunday Night Football, the Bills went down to the Drake May and the Patriots 23-20. And then your Eagles went down to the Mile High Riding Denver Broncos 21-17. So, Quinn, I'm gonna leave the floor to you for these three games, whichever one you want to start with. But since this was the big three of like upsets and games of the week, what'd you think?
Moving on to the Patriots Bills. Didn't expect that. The Patriots have potential. They've been kind of not all over the place, but a little not quite as consistent. Not consistent at all like you would like
Hmm.
to see. But I mean, they kept it close and they won the game. I mean, kudos to them. The Bills just just didn't do enough. And then of course the Eagles. It's funny too because the last week I'm like, I'm not worried about the Broncos.
Ate those words
It's
up.
just yeah, it's just, and I'm sure many can relate, but it's frustrating seeing half a game of production and then half a game of just total crash. Like no production, negative yards. Like how is very like Jekyll Hyde. Like how do you go from doing great to not doing well at all? Like there's a stat that when AJ Brown plays games, the Eagles' record is like ridiculously good. And I mean, it's going to happen when you lose games, especially. I think some of those stats are a little silly, but like AJ Brown's a great receiver. He opens up the field, and we fed him and Smith a bit yesterday. Barkley got a long receiving touchdown, but I mean, it has to be the offensive coordinator, right? Patullo's just not. We don't really have an identity, and these problems we didn't have last year, and they just kind of I feel like developed recently, the past like two games. Because beforehand, I mean, the Cowboys and Chiefs game, it was just a whole throughout the game a little like, okay, we're kind of doing something, kind of not. Maybe it's the same volume of um, poor play, just all combined at once. But these shouldn't be problems we're having. I mean, look at the offense, look at our weapons. Like we shouldn't be doing this, but we are. And I have to presume it's Patullo and the offensive coordinator because last year we didn't have this. Like, uh, it has to be him. And it's disappointing because, again, we have a phenomenal roster. And I'm sure we'll be fine. This is a good wake up call to be like, oh, yeah, we actually have to win. And I mean, the Broncos are a good team. So at least it's not like we lost to the Giants, that, you know. But
Well, I
just,
find it funny that on the last play of the game on that Eagles game, I almost felt like AJ Brown kind of robbed Smith the catch of that. It's like if he wasn't there, Devontae might hold on to that and score. And Devontae played well, probably his best game this
yeah,
year. And then AJ Brown again, just quiet, nothing at all. Which, I mean, people are saying like, "Oh, should Brown request a trade?" It's like the most ridiculous stuff I've heard. I understand him being upset about
yeah,
not getting the ball. Anyone would be, but yeah, I want to get traded from probably one of the best teams in the league and are going to compete for Super Bowls each year because boo hoo, I'm not getting the ball. No, but like I said, frustration makes sense. Only giving Saquon 6 carries, I bet frustrated you too, Quinn. Again, just not giving him the ball enough. He did get a big receiving touchdown, which is huge, but the rushing's just not there this year. And again, credit goes to Denver. They got an incredible defensive line and just an incredible defense in general. But so does Philly. And Denver was struggling throughout the game until the fourth quarter where Bo Nix just turned it around. J.K. Dobbins, not much production yards wise, but did get a big touchdown. And Sean Payton, the ball's on that man to go for two, down one, and the Eagles still have plenty of time, and they get it, and then they get a stop, and then get a field goal to be up 4 rather than up 3, forcing Philly to have to go for a touchdown. Huge. Now, there were some controversial calls in that game, or no calls. Goddard might have been interfered with. There might have been some other controversies, but at the end of the day, still got to put the loss just on Philly themselves. Like, it's a team, it's a good Denver team, but it's a team Philly usually should beat. Again, they just can't play a full 4 quarters. But there were issues last year around this time. Remember when you wanted your coach fired when you almost lost to the Browns, and then you completely turned around. So I wouldn't be too worried, but I think it might just be early season, even though it's still we're kind of away from the early season, but still like first quarter of the season jitters. But impressive win for Denver, a team that like we expected to be good, struggled early. Now I feel like it's getting back to what me and you thought before the season. And same with the Patriots, another team that people had decent expectations for. A little more I was a little more skeptical of them than Denver just because maybe they were a little too hyped up because they didn't play as well as Denver did last year. But this win is a statement win if I've ever seen one on prime time at Buffalo. And Buffalo was looking a little bit skeptical too. They almost lost to Miami and New Orleans. So
Yeah.
this almost felt inevitable that this was going to happen. But at Buffalo, which shout out to their uniforms. Buffalo's uniforms are sweet with the gray and the slick back. That was awesome. But it was an ugly game. Like neither offenses could generate that much really till the third quarter. And former Bill Stephon Diggs. When's the last time he's had a game like this? I think it's been at
Yeah.
least 3 years since he's gone over 100 yards, 146 to be exact. In his, I guess, revenge game, he's gonna because he said it was personal to him for some reason, even though he sucked his last year at Buffalo. But Allen was the lead passer and the lead carrier because the running game for the Bills could not do anything. James Cook had 15, but for 49 yards. The Patriots did get Christian Gonzalez back, I think, last week against Carolina, and he made some big plays. He like knocked down that one big third down pass to force them to have to kick the field goal to tie it, and that made the difference. Obviously, the play everyone saw, May was like about to get sacked. He flips it over to, I believe it was one of the running backs. I think it was Stevenson. Yeah, I think so, for a first down. And again, that just goes to show why they drafted Drake May. But this is a Mike Vrabel type of win, like an ugly, lower scoring defensive battle, but they managed to get it done in the end, and they deserve it.